So continuing on with my background story, hopefully this stuff isn't boring, at least it's entertaining or informational. So left off, I just, end of March of 2019, booted my friend out of my place. He owed me tons of money that he didn't pay. I'm in financial ruins at this point. What was going on is, a few years back, before that, maybe 2016 or so, when I realized that I'm not going to be able to re-enlist in the military anymore, and that I'm probably going to be working in some kind of a defense contractor's position for a few years. I was starting to get offers when I started going to university. I started getting some offers from different companies. Some of them were actually wanting me to sign contracts for employment, even though I wouldn't be graduating and ready to hire for 2 years. But they were that interested in getting me chosen because, I had offers from different places. One place that I was really considering was for Raytheon. If I remember correctly, that one was down in Camp Pendleton area, like San Diego. There was another company, a really good company I worked with in the past. Not going to name them just for security reasons, but they were over in Orlando, Florida. Being born in Southern California, I'm used to the beaches down there, but the idea of living in Orlando sounded kind of interesting. Very good company, and I thought I could really work well with them. But anyway, so my thoughts were, I'm only going to be doing all this kind of work for a while till I save up a decent amount of money. But with my medical conditions and everything, I know I'm not going to be working for a long time. So I need to start thinking about wanting to retire somewhere, not here in the U.S., wanting to go to a nice environment where I can make my money stretch out longer. I started thinking about, I love Thai food. I've been to Thailand a few times. I like Thailand. Maybe I'll just move to Thailand. At the same time, I'd been to the Philippines several times. I like the Philippines. And it was kind of a debate between the two. And I started doing research on thinking about the two of them. But it wasn't really serious. Again, I'm thinking I'm not going to move until well after I've retired from working. But when December 2018 rolls along and I'm quitting school, this time I've got VA claim appeals going through, and they're saying it could be a couple more years, 2 to 3 more years before my rating gets increased and I get all my back pay and a higher pay per month. So my thinking is, okay, as soon as my rating gets increased, I'm going to retire. So I've got to step up these plans. So I might be retiring in 2 years, 3 years. Graduate school, hopefully by the time I finish school, or at least something. But when December rolled along and I'm no longer in school, I'm trying to think of what my options are. Then my buddy comes in, no longer buddy, but I really start trying to figure out what to do. And around that time, I also started thinking that the Philippines is going to be the better option. And I needed to make contacts in the Philippines, somebody that I could actually talk to with realistic conversations over the phone and be able to ask questions about cost of living, budgets, those type of questions about really wanting to come over here, making that decision. I don't know why, but at the time, I'm trying to think of places I could go to contact somebody. I went to a dating website. My plan was to start talking with a female that I could trust, somebody that I would be interested in getting into a relationship at some point, seeing how things work out. But that was pretty much what I did. I just started talking to some people online. When I went into this dating site, one girl immediately caught my eye, not only because of physical appearance, but because her profile said verified when none of the others did. I sent her a message, didn't get a reply, started chatting with some of the other ones on there, scams and, wanting to basically take your money kind of thing. I'm getting ready, it's like 4 days, I'm getting ready to leave this site just figure out something else. This was a stupid idea. And all of a sudden, the girl that I first contacted, she finally replies back. I start chatting with her a little bit. Remember, I'm a little bit leery because I just had a couple girls that were on there try to scam me, so I'm kind of leery with her. But eventually, we start talking. I get to where I can trust her, and then we just start talking. After we're communicating outside of that dating site, I just basically close my account on that site because I'm now. I decided, yeah, she's going to be the one I'm going to talk to and see how things work out. And this would go on for quite a while. For a couple months, we're chatting. Things are getting more and more interested. At first my plan was, look, I'm not looking for a relationship of somebody to bring to the U.S. because I'm going to be moving to the Philippines. Be aware that it might be 2 or 3 years before I'm able to move to the Philippines. So she was looking to date, but she wasn't like immediately looking for like somebody to be married to or anything like that. So I guess at first she was kind of okay with the idea of us getting to know each other, talking for a couple years, maybe me going there to visit and stuff, but she understood that I might not be moving there right away. And then just all those financial problems were starting to hit, and pretty much March hits and I finally am able to kick him out there. I'm really hurting for money, and I'm really starting to think, okay, is it actually possible for me to retire in the Philippines right now with the limited income I have right now? Again, it's going to be 2 or 3 years before I get my pay increase, my rating increase. Do I make enough right now that I could go over there, live simple, cheap life just to survive for the next couple years until I get my money and I'm able to live a little bit better lifestyle? But that was a big thing because in the U.S. I couldn't survive on that income. Even with all the government assistance and everything, I'm still starting to get behind on certain expenses, or it's just not a comfortable living. Yeah, I had a nice big apartment, but I didn't want to move anywhere. I didn't want to move out of there. But it was just, it wasn't a good condition. I thought if there was some way I could retire over here. So she started helping me out, looking at budgets. She was going and traveling to different apartments in the area, looking at, for example, this is what an apartment would look like for this price range. This is what your utilities would look like, down to every fucking utility that I could think of. Like, how much is this? How much is that? If you go to the grocery store, how much is it per kilo or whatever of this vegetable and this fruit, and how much is it for a can of this? Like, I'm really trying to figure out all the budgets, all the expenses, like how much is it really going to cost me for groceries, for food, for miscellaneous expenses? What am I going to be spending on transportation expenses? I'm going to immigration website, looking at all my options for getting visas and everything to live there. I'm really nailing this down. And it was around April, about a month later, of doing just hardcore every single day, all day research. I'm really thinking, this is possible. It's actually possible with my income. I could live there and have a comfortable, or at least surviving, lifestyle. It's not going to be the greatest. It's not going to be extravagant, but I can make it work. I'm going to move into the area where she lives. She was living with her parents. I'm like, okay, I can move, within a 5-minute drive of where she's at. That way we can do the whole dating thing, get to know each other and see how all that works. And, it'll work out. And I just start thinking, okay, it's time to start planning my trip to move. The best thing I can do right now is to just move overseas and try and live off of what I have. I knew it was going to be a difficult process, but that's pretty much what I started doing. So there were certain things that I had to do to make it work. Even though the things that I knew might cause me problems in the future, they were going to be difficult choices, things that I don't recommend for other people. unless you are in a similar, very, very difficult situation, I don't recommend it. But it eventually worked out. So I can cover the whole part of that process in another video. But I'm just really hoping that this information has been useful. And I know some of it, you guys are going to be like, man, you're a fucking idiot. You know, you shouldn't have done this, you should have done that. And yeah, I know I made mistakes, not just throughout my career, my profession at different jobs, of just, you know, because I'm always so focused on re-enlisting that I passed up so many opportunities. Even after I started going to school, I'm getting different offers. You know, I've got law enforcement agencies calling me up and wanting me to go back to work for them, but I tell them, you know, I'm already in college right now, and I enjoyed working at your department. You guys are good, but at most you're paying, what, $28,000 a year. When I graduate in another 2 years, I've got jobs lined up that start paying at $60,000 a year. And I'm going to be back in a military environment where I'm comfortable. So as much as I enjoy working for the department, you guys just don't pay enough. You know, I'm making enough money right now in school, so I'm okay, and I'll just wait till I graduate. And so I passed up a lot of opportunities. If I hadn't dealt with the Jamie problem, I would have probably figured something out for a couple months and then returned back to school and made it work. Figured out a way to make it work, even if it means spending some of that fucking financial aid money to buy the books again. You know, I would have had to figure something out, but I would have eventually returned back to school, finished my last 2 years there, got my degree, and you know, gone to work for some company. And I would have been working hard. Don't know where I'd be at right now. But I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened. Because I thought I was doing the right thing, helping a friend out, being the good guy, I got screwed over to where it pretty much ruined my life financially. I lost a lot of things that I worked very hard for, saved up a long time to get, firearms that I did so much customization. I mean, so many things that I grew attached to that were just a part of my life, that they were part of my comfort. Things that helped me get through the difficult periods, how to deal with PTSD, anger, depression, like all those issues. A lot of those things that had a lot of personal meaning to them, I lost all that stuff. So it was not an easy process, but yeah, I made choices that came back to bite me. But because of where I'm at now with the woman that I'm with now, I love Vina very much. I'm very happy here. Even though my lifestyle living conditions are much lower than they were before back in the US, just being here with her and being a part of her family, knowing that we can have a future together, be able to have a family together. Whatever problems I had in the past, whatever mistakes that I made, whatever bad consequences I've had to deal with, I think it was worth it, because they all led to me being where I am right now. And as much as I wish I could have gone back to serve in the military or had made other decisions to have better careers, more income, everything that happened eventually at some point led to me being where I am, and I don't think I would be happier anywhere else. You know, obviously if I had higher income already and more money, we could be living a better lifestyle and stuff. But I mean, as far as just getting here, yeah, it was a difficult journey getting here, but once I'm here, I've actually, for the first time in my life, really been able to find happiness. And so I'm not really sure what happened there. Looks like the last couple of minutes of that video were cut off. Right now I'm just going through doing the editing, and that's when I noticed it. But I didn't want to just leave it at that. Pretty much all I was saying is, yeah, things are going okay here, you know, under the circumstances. So I'm definitely a lot happier about my decision to move here, even through all the crap that I had to go through to get here. Definitely a lot happier. So hope this has been useful information, and the next videos are just going to pretty much be covering my actual process, what I had to go through to get here to the Philippines. Just hope it's going to be entertaining or informational for you guys.